How do you consider a black man to be a hero when he's actually gone to the worst choice first and the best choice last? Hi everyone, Toxic Avenger here, bringing you another video, a rant, a rambling, an opinion. And if you look up lately, you're going to see it on Twitter, you're going to see it here on dear old YouTube. There's a story trending of IceCube, backlash from the left. Now, I saw this, and I was actually quite surprised. I didn't know about this. I didn't see it on Twitter. I didn't see it trending on Twitter. I saw it trending here on YouTube. And IceCube going on CNN with Frito and defending himself from the left over his choice of getting help from the Trump administration instead of Biden. Here's a story about that. I'm just going to give you the abbreviation of the whole thing. IceCube went to Joe Biden first, and he went over there to seek to create a plan in order to help out the black community. Obviously, because he went to Trump, that means that Biden turned him down. He was brushed off. He was given one of those don't call us, we'll call you kind of things. And he went to Trump second. Now, I know that a lot of YouTubers right here on YouTube, they're like Jeremy from The Quartering, or Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, or also D-Day Cobra, as well as a whole bunch of other YouTubers who aren't afraid to give their opinion, and I give them that. But they make it seem as if he's some sort of folk hero doing the right thing for his people. And they're praising him undeservedly. Undeservedly, because he doesn't deserve these kinds of praises. Maybe a mention, but not praise. Why do I say that? When you're a black man and you go to a segregationist like Joe Biden, you are already proving that you're not black. Let me explain why. Aside from the fact that Joe Biden actually said, and I quote, "If you don't vote for me, you ain't black." Well, in my quote, I say, if you vote for Joe Biden, you are not black. Let me explain why. You all know your history of why and how and who created the Democratic Party in the 1800s. And you know the reasons why they did it. They did it in order to preserve slavery, in order to, deny them civil rights, deny them voting rights, deny them any kind of right whatsoever. They did not think that the black people were humans, that they didn't deserve any kind of respect or equal treatment. This is the Democratic Party. Now, here's the proof. How many judges voted against the civil rights movement? Okay? They created Jim Crow. They looked for ways to keep the minority groups dependent on government help. And not even a large amount of help. They just got a bone tossed over to them and kept them happy enough in order for them to keep voting Democrat. Let's not forget that there was a certain president from the Democratic Party who actually said, and we're going to keep these N-words voting Democrats for hundreds of years. They actually said that. This is not a lie. You can look it up. And YouTube, you can fact check me if you want to, but this is fact. Now, when you do that, and you're a black man, and you're seeking help for your black community, and you go to an open segregationist who created a crime bill against your people that sent thousands and thousands of black men to prison, you're a spineless coward, because you went to the wrong guy. You went to the wrong guy first. You went to the guy that you knowingly have information of that he's a racist. Now, if IceCube didn't know about Biden since like fucking 94 and what he created and how proud he was about it, then IceCube is dumber than nails, in the sense that it's been the talk of Joe Biden's career ever since. Not to mention his other quote, "I don't want my children to grow up in a jungle, a racial jungle," end quote. Joe Biden said that. He really did. For IceCube to go to him, not knowing these things, that's just a red flag to me. That's just a red flag to me. That he would actually go to this guy first when everybody keeps talking about racial equality and all this other BS peddled by BLM and the Democrats, and yet you don't know your fucking history on the candidate that's running against Trump? You don't know his track records? And yet you're still willing to go to him first? You have got to be out of your fucking mind, IceCube. You have got to be out of your fucking mind. And that you say that you don't take sides? You don't take sides. But you go to Joe Biden first. Because he's what's trending amongst BLM and every other psycho lunatic leftist out there. It's as if he's afraid of losing his demographic financial supporters. By that I mean, other black people buying his records and shit. Even though it was Lil Wayne the one that said that it was actually white people the ones that mostly bought his records. But for IceCube to go to him first, I mean, it just doesn't fit in my head. It really doesn't. The same goes for Ice-T. It doesn't fit in my head how these two guys, especially IceCube, how these two guys can actually still consider Biden to be for the black community. Just because he recently started looking for ways in order to get the black vote doesn't necessarily mean that he's always been for the black community. On the contrary, he never has. He never will be. Every Democrat, if you look up your history, every Democrat has always pandered to the minorities because they know that the minorities are so stupid and so ignorant, so misinformed and uninformed that they would literally believe every effing lie that comes out of their mouths. Okay? They would believe every single lie that comes out. That's how the Democrats do things, everybody. And you're going to hate me for this. And I understand if you do, and you have your right to. You have your right to be angry at me. You have your right to even leave obscene comments underneath. You have your rights to do that. And you know what? I give you that right because it's your first constitutional right. Go for it. Just as long as you don't go about threatening me. That's where you cross the line. But you can fact check me on all of this. And I can also prove to you these facts. Because they're not just facts. They're open to everybody. All you have to do is look. We're living in a time when the information is just at the reach of a fingertip. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are racists. Big time racists. And anybody who still wants to vote for them, you hate yourself. You hate yourself and you just want crime because maybe you belong to that demographic. You don't want law and order. You don't want stability. You don't want prosperity. You want crime, chaos, and death. That's what you want. Anybody who votes for these two assholes, that's what you want. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I know what a lot of you are going to say. Well, like your Trump is any different. In what sense? What did he do during his presidency that was so illegal that Biden hasn't done? Or that Kamala Harris hasn't done during her fucking career as a prosecutor, a leading prosecutor, by sending black men to prison. Oh, yes, she has that track record. Go ahead and look it up if you want to. She's also the daughter of a Jamaican slave owner in a plantation. Okay? So you can go ahead and fact check me on all of those things if you want to, but I can prove it to you. This is not a lie. This ain't brainwashing. I tried to look for the facts on both sides, and to be honest with you, one side lies a lot. And I mean a lot. And they're so desperate for you not to see that they'll try anything and everything they can to convince you otherwise. Mostly even using celebrities in order to grease up their gears of their war machine. Because that's basically what it is. It's a war machine, and these celebs are just oiled up gears. But, honestly, I don't know why everybody is so hyped up over IceCube and even Ice-T going to Trump. To be honest with you, he should have been their first choice. He should have been. $500 billion invested into black community programs, and yet he was a second choice. It's sad to know that a lot of you actually think that you can praise this guy for doing that, when actually you should actually damn him more for it. But it's because you don't see, man. He went to Trump, right? That should still count for something. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't count for anything. Because he still went to a segregationist for help. Despite the fact that they're always talking about racial equality and removing racism, he went to the open segregationist for help first. So, I mean, that's my problem, not just with IceCube, but everybody who's praising him. That's my problem. And you're not going to convince me otherwise because, like I said, I already did my homework. Maybe you should do yours. I'm just a guy behind a mic letting you guys know what my opinion is, and that's my opinion. IceCube is no hero. And don't feel very confident about him wanting to join the ranks of the conservative movement because he's not going to. Because like he said, and I quote, I don't take sides. So, to every other YouTuber out there talking about IceCube, making him some sort of folk hero and shit, you know what? Blow it out your ass, because he's not. This isn't a win for us. This should actually be a moment where we should feel humiliated that he would choose our president as last choice. This is one of those things like, really, man? You go to our president as your second choice? I mean, would any of you feel good about being picked last when you're going to play dodgeball or something? Would you guys like to be picked last? How would that make you feel? You'd feel pissed off knowing that someone would actually pick you last because they had no choice and they just had to fill the numbers in or the quota of the team on how many members should be in order to play a game of basketball or dodgeball or whatever, or even touch football for that matter. I've never really been picked last on anything, but most of you should actually feel offended about this and not praise IceCube. So, I don't know. That's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment in the bottom. Please make sure to leave a like. Subscribe if you approve of my way of thinking or my opinions on social, matters of this exponential magnitude. And share with anybody that you think would appreciate these kinds of comments and opinions. So, that's all I have to say. Thank you very much for watching. This was Toxic Avenger. And by the way, if you're really curious about me and you want to know more about me, you can go ahead and look me up on my Parler account and on my Twitter account, both by the same name as I do here on YouTube, Toxic Avenger. You can go ahead and check it out, and you can follow me on those two platforms as well.